All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Tonight, we're diving into the Las Vegas Raiders. Let me tell you, no matter how you slice it, the Raiders were missing their top two players in today's game, Max Crosby and Davante Adams. You could call it an ugly win, an unpolished win, but hey, a 26 home victory against the Cleveland Browns is something I'm taking any day. This is a team that's fresh off a rough home loss against the Carolina Panthers. So I'm going to celebrate this victory, and I suggest you do the same. A few weeks from now, nobody's going to nitpick how it happened. The defense stepped up, and even though we still need to sort out the run game, Gardner Minshew did enough to get us across the finish line. Games like this are the kind that the Raiders have been losing for years, but not today. So, I'm going to enjoy this win. But before we dive deeper into tonight's video, if you enjoy this content, be sure to hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more daily Raiders and NFL content. Let's try to get this video to 100 likes, folks. That would mean the world to me. Now, back to the game. The Raiders were dealing with several key injuries, especially on defense. And let's face it, we're a month into the NFL season, and almost every team has at least one big-name player out. It's no different for the Raiders. Today, they were without Max Crosby for the first time against the Browns, as well as Malcolm CZ, Divine Diablo, and Marcus Epps. The game didn't start great. The Browns went up 10-0 in the first quarter. But then, the defense locked in, and they didn't let up for the rest of the game. I want to be clear. I'm not saying Alec Getty is the best offensive coordinator out there, or that Jeter Machu is the top quarterback in the league, but they did what they needed to do to win. We'll talk more about the run game soon. It's far from perfect, especially with Zamir White, but it's been pretty solid overall. The defense shined today, holding the Browns' offense scoreless for 7 straight possessions. And shout out to Snowden, a fourth-year defensive end who had never played a regular season game before this year and was even released by the Raiders in training camp. What a performance. He sealed the win with a game-clinching sack right at the end. The Browns were inches away from scoring and possibly taking the game, but the Raiders' defense came through in the clutch. And let's not forget, shout out to Cleveland's kicker, Dustin Hopkins, for missing that extra point late in the game. The Raiders pulled off a 2016 victory, and if it weren't for that miss, we could have been looking at overtime. One of the highlights for me was definitely the performance of the running backs. Gardner Minshew went 14 of 24 with 130 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. Now, I know the stat sheet might not look amazing, but it doesn't tell the whole story of how he managed the offense. Let's be real. If you take away the top wide receiver from any NFL team, they're going to struggle, and their QB's numbers will probably drop too. With Davante Adams out, Jacoby Myers stepped up as WR1, catching 5 passes for 49 yards on 10 targets. Trey Tucker also made his presence felt with 5 catches for 41 yards. Unfortunately, Brock Bowers didn't get many chances today. He had just 3 targets and finished with 2 catches for 19 yards. In fact, only 4 Raiders players caught passes today: Jacoby Myers, Trey Tucker, Harrison Bryant, and Brock Bowers. But let's talk about the run game, where we saw some solid contributions. Alexander Mattison had 5 carries for 60 yards, including a fantastic 24-yard run. Zamir White, on the other hand, had 17 carries for 50 yards, averaging just 2.9 yards per carry. With those numbers, I wouldn't be surprised if Alexander Mattison starts getting more snaps over Zamir White. DJ Turner also had a stunning 18-yard rushing touchdown, and Brock Bowers managed a clutch 12-yard run for a first down. Trey Tucker even added a rushing touchdown of his own. It was great to see the team's ground game step up in the absence of Davante Adams. Offensively, the Raiders finally found some success in the run game after 4 weeks of struggles. Today was different. 29 total carries for 152 yards, averaging 5.2 yards per carry, and 2 rushing touchdowns. This performance was a breath of fresh air. A lot of it came from Alexander Mattison, along with contributions from guys like Turner, Bowers, and Trey Tucker, who aren't even running backs but stepped up big time. But let's talk about the defense. This unit is legit. Even without Max Crosby, one of the best defensive players in the NFL, they showed up strong. Morg had a beautiful interception, Spain racked up 12 tackles, and Masterson added 6 tackles. Palamu, although he didn't get an interception, had a fantastic sack. Snowden added another sack, Robinson had half a sack, and Wilkins also got in on the action with half a sack. Speaking of Christian Wilkins, he's been a great addition for the Raiders this offseason. Statistically, he only had half a tackle and half a sack, but if you watch the game, you could see how much he impacted the defense. He was a force against Deshaun Watson and Jerome Ford, keeping the Browns' offense in check. Watson threw for just 176 yards, averaging 5.5 yards per completion, with one touchdown and one interception. The Browns ran the ball 22 times for 92 yards, which averages out to 4.2 yards per carry. But let's break it down further. Jerome Ford ran 10 times for 58 yards, which might sound decent, but he had a 35-yard run in there. Take that away, and the Raiders' rush defense was rock solid. Overall, it was the defense that secured this win. This was just a quick recap of the Raiders' victory today. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe for more daily Raiders and NFL content. Let's aim for 100 likes, folks. It would mean the world to me. Comment down below and let me know who your player of the game was. Peace.